It's Mosley, and this is Madness Mosley. This is, we are like the rest of America. We want to just sit around and watch basketball all day and into the evening, just like all of you. And then tomorrow we start doing it all over again. Sunday, I think Saturday and Sunday, when you start getting teams going to the, trying to get the Sweet 16, the stakes get higher. I mean, in some ways, the first two rounds are the most exciting because those buzzer beaters, or you can get some upsets. So all of that's awesome. But then I do love the Saturday, Sunday, kind of the stakes get higher. And so you get, and then you get an occasional, I don't know if High Point will do it, but you get somebody that breaks through to the, or maybe the Aggies will do it. I don't know. That's what's interesting to me, Kev, is in Kevin Hoosier Hall is monitoring everything as we speak.
I got it.
And Kevin, we got Baylor women are going to be on Big ESPN.
It just started.
Okay.
Yep.
And Baylor women are they're at Cameron Indoor Stadium in right there at Duke. Right, and so that in Durham, North Carolina. It's so funny when I think of places in Carolina. When I hear Durham, I think of the Durham Bulls. I think of the famous Costner and Susan Sarandon baseball movie that I think that involved the Durham Bulls, and of course, that was a great movie. Ron Shelton, I believe, wrote and directed that one, at least directed it. Very, very good sports movie. Right now we got Kentucky is in a fight with Santa Clara, and that's been a really good game back and forth. You want that first game of the day on Thursday and Friday to be a good one. They always try to feature something on CBS, and that one has lived up to its billing. Kev, what I was getting at, is like, I think some of these teams always almost take it as an affront when they're, oh, you're a 10 seed, or oh, you're 11 seed, or you had to be in the play-in game. We can sit there and laugh about the University of Texas having to be in the play-in game against NC State, and they tried to blow one again last night, but they didn't. They were able to hold on and take care of BYU. And now, Kevin, I think of the however long they've been doing this play-in game, let's say they've been doing it 10 years or 10, 12 years, whatever, however long they've been doing it, like at least 13 of the 15 years, I think is what I saw. 13, 15 years, one of those teams has turned around and won a first-round game. And we've seen some of them make it as far as, I'm trying to remember if there was one year somebody made the Final Four. Certainly the Elite Eight. The team that there was one team that had to play in the play-in game years ago, and it was somebody kind of like VCU. Although it's been a while since VCU has gotten it done. They got it done yesterday. They got it done yesterday in a big way. There's the Longhorns, the aforementioned Longhorns, and Kev will be cutting in. Feel free, Kevin. You check on that Akron Tech game. I'll turn my app down here. You check on that Tech Akron game, please, for me, because we'll have some Red Raiders in our audience. And then I'm going to look. That was cool the other day, by the way, when we were at you and I didn't even get to really promote.
8-point game, 59-51. Tech is up.
Tech's up over Akron. How much time's left in that one?
Yeah, we got about 12 minutes left. So the next, I would presume the next stoppage would be at a 12-minute timeout.
Okay, Santa Clara is up 70-68 over Kentucky. Kev, check on yours. I'm on that app, the March Madness app. Check on yours to see if you can tell us how much time's left in that one. I was having to race back from my hometown, and the last I looked, it was like it's got to be only about 4 or 5 minutes left now. Kev, what do you?
It's just over a minute.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Just over a minute. That's going to be our game we really zero in on in our first segment here. Now, Kevin, remind me, yesterday
The Baylor women are up 7-0.
Yes. Take that, Nebraska. All the Nebraska fans are with the men in Oklahoma City. They just absolutely took over the city yesterday. And so hopefully none of them were able to make it to Durham to be with the Huskers. Kev, what's that Cameron Indoor Stadium look like from a crowd standpoint?
They're not showing it a whole lot, so
Okay,
that's usually not a great sign.
Well, who knows? Let's hope a few Bears. I mean, that's a fun place to go. Like if Rogue just decided, well, they did send everybody but us, Kevin, to the Super Bowl. But if Rogue decided, you know what, Mosley he's the main Baylor guy. I mean, don't forget about J-Mo, the voice of the Bears. But in terms of he works for Baylor. In terms of the people that don't work for Baylor, they would say Mosley's the number one Baylor guy. That would be something in the future, Kevin. That would be the case we would make to go hang out at Cameron Indoor Stadium. All right. I just feel like you and I have been so busy with life and work that I would not say we really lobbied as hard as we needed to make this trip. But that would be a fun place to watch a game. I want to watch with the Duke men play there someday. That would be a great what you'd call a kind of a bucket list type deal. I think being among the Cameron crazies would be a lot of fun. Kevin, with 24 seconds left, buddy, and Kevin and I have worked this out yesterday. His feed on YouTube TV or whatever he's using, he's about 6 to 8 seconds ahead of me. So he's seeing these things before. Kev, the Santa Clara, literally with about 24 seconds left in the game, had a point blank layup that would have put them up by 4. This could come back to haunt them. They did not make it. I don't know if he got nervous. I don't know. I'm sure just there was kind of chaotic underneath the rim, but the guy had a pretty clean look at the basket, and he didn't get it done. So now they're up by 2. Now, Kevin, what I couldn't tell right there is if they awarded Kentucky a timeout. There was a scrum, and everybody was fighting for the ball. And then it looked like Kentucky kind of had it for a second. And what I would imagine happened is they got rewarded for the timeout. And now Kentucky will have the ball trailing 70-68 with just about 24 seconds left in that game. Wow. I mean, there's a lot of interesting things going on. Texas Tech up 59-53. As Kevin said, about 12 minutes left in that one. Kev, monitor this situation with Kentucky for me, please, because I think they're kind of showing a replay of it right now.
They're just coming back inbounding right now.
Yeah. And I'm sure, Kevin, what most of America is doing is just sort of watching us talk about it, and they don't want to turn it over.
Absolutely. I mean, what you could do is you can watch the game and then listen to us talk about it.
Yes. People are like, I don't want to hear these. Okay. Kentucky does have the ball, and they are trailing 70 to 68, and they got a great look, and they tied it up. Don't, Kev, don't. I must be 8 or 9 seconds behind Kevin, and oh my gosh. Santa Clara with a 3-pointer. Oh no! Okay, this is the first. This is the first wild,
Yes.
crazy, buzzer-beating moment. So Santa Clara hits the 3 to go up now with
running clock, inbound it, take it down just over half court, banked it in.
And then Kentucky had about 4 seconds. Now, here's where Santa Clara went wrong. They got a great look and all that, but Kentucky should have never had time to come down and take that shot. I mean, Santa Clara should have taken the last shot. I don't understand how they end up leaving Kentucky 4 seconds. Santa Clara makes the 3. Kentucky comes down and banks in a 3 from about 38 feet. I don't know. Kev, see if you can find out who that is for Kentucky that made that shot. Wait, that's not Owe, is it? Who's 00? Look at Mark Pope going crazy.
Yeah, so that's Owe.
That was okay. Owe is probably their best player, and they're showing all the great replays. All the Santa Clara people were getting ready to celebrate, and you see Herb Sendek, their coach, react and that's a buzzer beater. Kentucky banks one in from 38 feet, and we have ourselves a tie ball game going into OT. All right, got OT coming up, 73-73, end of regulation. That's the greatest moment of the tournament so far. Oh, my gosh. The Santa Clara Broncos.
High point?
No,
I mean, that was a great moment, but
yeah, but
to me, 12 beat a 5.
This to me had more just, I'm talking about the game moment, not like who was beating who, like the most incredible back and forth.
But this guy was 0 for 4 on 2-point baskets the entire season.
I know.
And his first 2-point basket was to win the game.
It was fun, but this is not a time, Kevin. This is not like embrace debate time. We're not like really having a huge debate over this. That was great, and that was fun. And what I'm glad that High Point kid did is not blow that. Can you imagine getting wide open like that?
So have you?
Can I just real quick, by the way, and hold on to that thought?
Yeah.
I think you know what I'm getting at. Like Kentucky goes down with about 10 seconds left, 10 or 11 seconds left, and that's a great play. And that may have also been Owe, but they get in there and it's a great shot. And that's how they tie the ball game up. So it's hard to fault Santa Clara because the kid hits a gorgeous 3. But the dang thing is, you want in a tie ball game like that, you want to be taking the final shot. And they left Kentucky too much time, and God love them. Kentucky, that reminds me of that shot that Gonzaga hit to beat UCLA in the semifinal in 2021. Suggs hit that shot, but man, now Kentucky has to feel, like they've got new life, and we've started this overtime. Wow, Kevin, what were you going to say? I'm sorry. What were you about to say? You were about to hit me with a point.
Have you seen this video of the student play-by-play at High Point?
Yes, and what I don't understand about that is, like, were they letting the students have their own broadcast? That wasn't the actual High Point play-by-play people. Or
I think that's what they did. I think that's how they do their play-by-play, is they have the students kind of lead it, which I think is great. As a teacher myself, from of a time, I think it's great to kind of let the next generation take it.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sorry, I want to listen to an actual professional do it, but they were fun. I think what that was, surely High Point had a normal broadcast that wasn't two students doing it, but the reaction was kind of funny, to hardcore play-by-play people, like people that grew up like Nance did and grew up doing it. I'm sure all the screaming and cheering and all that they did may have been a little much. Do you have it or not?
I do.
Okay,
I do.
Yeah. This okay, just give you an update real quick.
Yep.
Santa Clara just hit a 3, and okay, they trail Kentucky right now 77-76 with 3 minutes and 20. This is in those final moments of High Point versus Wisconsin. And remind me, Kev, I had a Greg Gard thought for you.
Okay.
But High Point beats Wisconsin, and this is the student radio. And I looked at these guys. These guys have their own little podcast or something.
Yeah.
These High Point kids, I think they are college kids from what I can tell. And no, I don't want schools to start handing their broadcast off. Now, Frank Fallon used to let college students do baseball. That is cool.
Yeah.
And that is something I don't know why Baylor ever got away from it. But that was part of Frank's broadcasting class, which unfortunately I was going to go to law school at the time, and I didn't do it. But I worship Frank Fallon. He was so great. Okay, Kentucky leads Santa Clara 77-76. This is the student broadcast for High Point yesterday when as High Point was getting ready to knock off Wisconsin.
Driving, step back. In circles now. Johnson catch and shoot. That's what they needed. Timeout. Timeout. Portland. Do you believe it? Go. Here comes Johnson. The layup. It's good. Johnston. Transition. Takes it in bounds. 9 seconds. Boyd wants it inside. Drive. 6 seconds. Block.
What a block.
Now Boyd, they launch down court. Anderson gets it. Throw on the glass slipper. It's a Cinderella story in Portland, Oregon. For the first time in program history. High Point breaks through. We will see you in the round of 32. Oh, what a feeling.
Oh, what a feeling. Oh, what a feeling.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And and I've loved even the professionals on TV. And I don't think Harlan likes he does not like to be on camera when he doesn't know they're filming him. And I think he's the best in the business, but one of those unbelievable shots, buzzer beaters a year or two ago or whenever, they had the camera afterwards showing Harlan reacting. And it's fun to see, it's fun.
Do you believe what we think we just saw or whatever? Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny to see Stan Van Gundy and all these hardened long time, like an NBA guy like that. Harlan's a big NBA, looking almost like little kids, standing up and going crazy. The great Nance would not. He might stand up, but he's too calm, cool, and collected to go that crazy. But and I think we miss Nance's voice in this tournament because it was such a huge part of it and such a signature. That said, Ian Eagles incredible. As the lead guy, Ian Eagles with Bill Raftery. Raftery will probably be doing it when he's 100. Yeah, Grant Hill's fine too. But Ian Eagles
right
funny
now.
and he's great. He's great. So I got no issue with him. All right, minute 12 left. Now, Kevin, at some point yesterday, I think we just kept talking and forgot to ever take a break. We'll take a break, then we'll do some more. And I may even sneak, Kevin, if you've got an NFL nugget or two, I've got a couple things NFL-wise to hit on.
Breakaway, Kentucky slam up 4 48 seconds and a Santa Clara timeout.
All right. Santa Clara is going to think about this. Yeah, about 48 and a half seconds left. And they're down now 83-79. So Kentucky may have saved its season with an off the board. Unbelievable. That was a great block by Kentucky, by the way. Wow.
Block and then
3-pointer.
Yep.
But yeah, Kentucky away, just desperation heave from about 38 feet off the glass and in. And I mean, I'm not saying this is like some kind of, I mean, obviously Santa Clara is the 10 seed, Kentucky's the 7 seed. To me, that sequence was the greatest moment of the tournament so far through 2 days. And you know, it's fine to disagree. Kevin still would go with that high point moment we were just sharing. Now, when and that was that breakaway moment. And of course, though, Kevin, we didn't know until like afterwards that kid,
right?
You don't know as you're watching, and then they tell us that kid he was 0 for 4 on 2-point. I guess he's like some kind of 3-point special.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's
kind of like the guy from Oakland last year.
Yeah, I don't remember him. I remember the Oakland coach. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Who only yes. Yep. Now it's kind of coming back to me. I can almost picture. Do you remember that kid's name?
I don't. He looked to be just a little bit younger than I am. So
you think he'd been around for a while? Yeah, Kevin, with all that, remember, Kevin, do not do play-by-play because
nope, got it.
You're going to ruin it for me. I just want to kind of see if now one thing you can't do if you're saying, oh my gosh, they can't get a shot off. Like Kentucky is blocking every 3-point try, and Kentucky just got fouled, and so they'll shoot 2. And that will give them a chance to go up by 6 with 31 seconds left. So we got a lot to share. Oh, and Kevin, by the way, the Baylor women, we do have a large Baylor audience. Let's not forget that.
Yep.
The Baylor women are playing right now against Nebraska in the first round of the NCAA women's tournament. Kevin, can you get me a score?
It is 19-8, 1:11 left in the first quarter. Nice. Baylor's up. Baylor's up.
All right. Yep. I vow to, in this next segment, to kind of get that on my screen and be a little more involved in that game. All right. I don't want anybody at Baylor saying, well, Mosley doesn't care. By the way, Wright State with just about 3 minutes to go in the first half is up 34-32 on UVA. And sadly, UVA knows a thing or two about losing in the first round. Okay. They infamously lost to number 16, and they had another one. They had another bad loss.
You ready for this in the Santa Clara, Kentucky game?
I did see him hit that 3.
Okay. Off the air ball, and then went straight out to the corner, buried a 3, down by 3, 18.9.
Yeah. Okay. We got that. Arizona blowing out LIU. I thought that was an embarrassing deal for Duke. I think day one's overreactions is this: Houston is better than Duke. I think the Big 12 tried to lobby for Houston to be a number 1 seed. Houston ended up a number 2 seed, and maybe Duke will get it together. But I'm trying to. I mean, Evans hit some big shots late. Cam Boozer ended up having an overall pretty good game, but a number 16 seed took them 38 minutes. I mean, Duke did not pull away until they were like basically 2 minutes left in that game against Siena. And I mean, I know you people say, Matt, that's McNamara from Syracuse. That's old Jerry Mac. Well, great. He's not playing. I remember how good of a player he was. He didn't sub until like literally there were 20 seconds left. He did not sub the entire game. it was like 20 or 30 seconds. He put a defensive substitution, put a couple of guys in from Siena. People were like, I don't think you can do that. Well, I don't know. They almost knocked off Duke, or we're going to start questioning this coach. Santa Clara is going to send Kentucky to the line with 17 seconds left. Looks like our buddies from Lubbock are going to take care of business there. I can't really tell how they're up 73-64, and I think there's about 5 minutes left in.
Yep.
Can you tell how much time?
It's a score I got 72-64, 6 minutes left.
Okay, I got a little more recent one from you,
yep.
And they're only up 73-64, so it's not much of a change. Okay, and then that Wright State has still in the first half. Wright State leading UVA. That's a 14 seed against a 3 seed. Now that would be some big time stuff right there. And Wright State still has a 1-point lead with about 2 minutes to go in the half. And the dream has died. The dream is dead. Santa Clara Broncos have been beaten. And of course, Kentucky, almost kind of like the old Calipari days, they had to go ahead and dunk it even when they didn't have to, but that's okay. The Kentucky Wildcats take down Santa Clara 89-82. I wonder what the line was on that game. I don't know what Pope's saying to Pope's over there getting onto his bench about something. But okay, he seems to be somewhat happy. 89-82. Kentucky finds a way in OT, and it took a desperation 3 off the glass for it to happen, or the Santa Clara Broncos would have continued. Last time they won a game in the tournament was when Steve Nash was there. That's only been 30 years ago. So I'm pretty sure that's correct. I think they've been to the tournament since then, but I don't think they've won a tournament game since then. So Santa Clara with a couple of meaningless free throws late, and they'll try to get this game to about an 89-84 ending, and that'll be it. That will be it. So there you go. And so we'll keep you updated on everything. Kevin, let's regroup a little bit and check all our scores. I'm going to get the Baylor women's game going, and then I promise you we'll share a couple of NFL nuggets with you as well as the Mosley tournament show. Listen, Kevin, I kind of subtly tried to suggest maybe we take the day off. Kev, the Mosley show must go on is kind of what I was kind of told. So
That's
you
right.
and I will continue our thing, and let's check on the Baylor women. We'll give you an update there, and then the rest of the tournament. And then Kevin, let's make sure I got that Greg Gard thing to get into. Let's break down a little bit what we haven't done yet today, other than talking about that game because UT and University of Houston and A&M were all in action yesterday. Kev, let's talk about yesterday's games. Let's do some of that. So if you'll dig that up, some of those outcomes, because I want to go over some of that stuff and react to it. And then, of course, Kevin, I'll let you do what everybody in America is dying to do. I will let you talk about your bracket. This is going to be a new segment we have. It's called Kevin Talks About His Bracket. All right? Everybody in America is going around having these conversations. I had that. I had the High Point. I had the VCU. This will be Kevin's opportunity each day to talk about his bracket. That is next.
When you strive for greatness, you have a target on your back. When it comes to finances, we're all targets for scammers. But with the right game plan, you can protect yourself. Don't get faked by fraud.
Here's a tip. If you receive a call from someone claiming to be from a company, don't give them your personal information, ever. Unless you know them personally, hang up and call the company back on a verified number.
This message is brought to you by Central National Bank.
Lake Waco Golf Club is a semi-private facility nestled along the north point of Lake Waco, one of the few facilities in Texas to have a full 18-hole regulation golf course as well as an executive 18-hole par 3 golf course. Plus, check out their bar and grill, which is open to the public. And if you're not a golfer, then enjoy time by the pool or even enjoy fishing around Lake Waco. Become a member today and call to book your tee time. Lake Waco Golf Club, where family and friends fun begins. Check them out at lakewacogc.com for more information.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. us.muc-off.com.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGoAAALUSA.com and elevate your training today.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
All right, Kev, I'm just putting up here. I'm just letting our Twitter audience know what we're up to. How's this sound, Kevin? I'm reacting live to Kentucky's wild shot that I'm going to say wild bank shot that saved its season. That's not overstating it, I don't think. And I'm gonna let our Twitter audience.
No, that's not overreacting at all.
I'm letting our Twitter audience and I know we already have Twitter. Some of our Twitter people are with us, but I have not teased it myself, Kevin, with that massive audience I have out there. You know,
I think the real comedy is watching me know what's happening before you do, and then the juxtaposition there.
You know, I said something about the Aranda deal when he was on with us the other day. I had tweeted about, it was a picture of us with a bar in the background. Some people got a kick out of that. But something about the fact that he said, you know, they were paying too much money of their NIL money to high school players who were just, there it is, standing over on the sideline. And then I said he responded with his biggest roster overhaul by a long shot. Kevin, that tweet I put out has now done 15.6 thousand views. Let's see what Doug McNamee's saying to us. I was going to see. Doug McNamee was putting up he had some kind of story. He wants our feedback on something. Is on his Instagram story. What do you need, Doug? Oh, like some kind of survey. Kevin, we can't. Is that one we want to do on, during the show someday? I mean, maybe if things. I don't think things will get. I don't know. Maybe it's an important survey. I'll take a peek at it, Kevin, and see if it's anything we need to discuss. Right now, we do have the Baylor women playing first round action against Nebraska. And I've called that up. And unfortunately, the Huskers seem to be making a move in this game right now. It's the second quarter at Cameron Indoor Stadium. And the Bears are doing something that has plagued them throughout this season. And they're turning the ball over. I just watched one, Kev, and again, once again, watch this, Kevin, because you'll be like 10 seconds ahead of me. But just utter silliness, like throwing a harem-scarum pass up the court that had no shot whatsoever to getting to Ting. And Nebraska has cut this thing to 19-14. Baylor up 19-14 with 6 minutes and 44 seconds. Fortunately, even though Nebraska women's sports is really good, I don't think they're that great at basketball. Obviously, to be the 11 seed, they can't be. They're unbelievable at volleyball. In fact, played in the national championship against A&M. What I can't remember is if they played in the semifinal or the national championship against A&M. But they're very good at women's sports. They also they're very good at supporting women's sports. They're trying to pick the Bears up full court, knowing that Baylor turns the ball over a ton, and so we'll have to watch that. But Kevin, right now, Baylor, as you said, Baylor had a 19-8 lead. They got off to a 7-0 lead to start the game, and we're really in a good place. But they seem to be in one of those, and they'll get there from time to time, one of those scoring droughts. And the good news is they finally broke that one, and they are up 21-14. Talia Scott, hopefully she's in a good place for the Bears. She's been getting off to some slow starts. They need her to be really, really good in this game. And I can tell, Kevin, Nikki's already gone to her bench and is trying to get a little help there. But you've got Yuting out there. I see Kayla Nelms is in the game already. And so she's really, I think what that says to me is she needs, Nelms is of their big people down low. She's probably their best scorer. So Nikki obviously thinks they need some scoring help. Nikki is getting all over her point guard right now, Jana Van Geitenbeek, which tells me maybe Jana's, not doing some things she wants her to do. So there you go. There you go. There's the update on the Baylor women as they lead 21-15. And we are, I don't know, we're a few minutes into the second quarter of this game at
Texas Tech
Stadium. Oh, Texas Tech, has that gone final?
No, not final, but Texas Tech won on a huge run. They're up 84-68, about 2.5 left in that. Wright State in Virginia.
Kev. We may have Kev has frozen. Kevin, start your thing over again a little bit. You have frozen. Hopefully, I seem to be fine. So hopefully people can just, we'll just keep looking at your face frozen in time. In fact, Kevin, if you can, remove yourself from the screen until we can get this sorted out. We just lost Kevin on some kind of, I don't know, may have some high winds there in the Central Texas or Wi-Fi, a little bit of a Wi-Fi issue or something. So Kevin, text me if there's any kind of issue on my end, but I think people can hopefully still see and hear me, and it looks like we're still live from all that I can tell. So that's good. Not good that you've been frozen, Kevin, but we'll bring you back when we feel like you're rolling. All right. I missed whatever you just tried to text me, Kevin. That's okay. I'll keep rolling for a second here. Why don't you send me a text that says when you're ready to rejoin me? Okay. Kevin will be ready here in a second. We'll get him back on. He can do that. The Bears now 23-18. As Kevin said, Texas Tech has pulled away from Akron. Akron's a pretty good team. In fact, Akron is the team that was giving Miami University some problems this year. Almost beat them during the regular season. I think did finally beat them in the tournament. I think that was the team that knocked them out of the MAC tournament. And so Akron, we wanted to see what Tech was going to be able to do with out JT Toppin, and at least for one game, they got it done. Kevin, the thought I was trying to put together earlier, and we'll react to this unbelievable Kentucky game, but in an odd way, being a 10 seed is not the worst thing that can happen to you. I think there were probably some Aggies that thought, well, we had a pretty good year. We got off to a great start. We turned our season around. We went 11-7 in a really good conference in the SEC. Should we be a 10 seed? And I don't know what the answer is to that. I'll just say they really dominated a 7 seed, a pretty good St. Mary's team. You say, well, Matt, it wasn't a good matchup. I don't know, maybe not, but A&M put its usual press. St. Mary's struggled against the press. A&M got up, and then they just sat on St. Mary's. St. Mary's is a good team. It's not a team that can come back on you. And they've got this real good European player, at least his name sounds European. I'm trying to remember, and I think he is originally. I'm trying to remember where I heard he was from. Good player, really good three-point shooter. But he got so frustrated that I watched him at one point grab an A&M player by the back of the jersey and like kind of try to bring him to him. And I thought that was a really good moment for Bucky Ball and A&M. The A&M player just kind of just didn't even pay any attention. Just like did not even turn around and look at it. That's how you react. Everybody's like, they challenged my manhood. Oh man, I can't let them front on me like that. No, like the real cool thing to do, men or women, is if somebody's doing something, that just ignore them. Just kind of act like it's not even happening. Now that takes some guts. That takes some discipline. And I also saw a good moment yesterday, Kevin, in these early moments. And Kevin, I'm going to let you bounce some games off of me from yesterday that I'll react to here in a minute. This will be we'll call it like Campus Confidential. I am watching, I do kind of like it on the women's side when they put up all 4 games. That's kind of fun. South Dakota State has an early lead over Washington. That would be an upset. And then Virginia Tech is getting crushed by Oregon. I don't think that's an upset, but they're getting beat by 20. And Baylor, again, has about 5 minutes left in the second quarter. They're up by 5. But it's nice for the Bears to be getting the national big ESPN treatment. ESPN is using all its channels for women's coverage, which is great. But I like seeing Baylor get top billing today. I also would like to see the Bears go ahead and win. And then, of course, they will take on Duke on Sunday if they are able to get past Nebraska in this game. 4.5 minutes left, Nebraska with the basketball. So, Kevin, my point is the Ags as the 10 seeds, it's like if you can survive and win that game as a 10 seed, then you're kind of okay. Like your next matchup isn't Kevin, can you look real quick and see I don't have my bracket in front of me. Who does A&M now play? It's somebody we know. It's a game that's going to be of interest to us. Hey, same thing for UT. UT as an 11 seed wins the play-in game, or whatever seed they are, and then wins against BYU, and that was because that was an 11-6 matchup, I guess. And then you can kind of get cranking from those spots. We freak out too much about seeding, is what I'm really getting at.
They play Houston.
Okay, I don't think that's a horrible matchup for A&M, and I'll tell you why. Houston is not what it usually is. Houston is generally a team that can just suffocate you on defense, is going to out-rebound you, is going to get every defensive and offensive rebound. I don't think this year's Houston team, and again, I like Sanok. I like JoJo Tugler. This is not like this monstrous, great second chance points team. It's not as great an offensive rebounding team as they usually are. And quite honestly, they're not as good as defense, is what Kelvin Sampson's known for. I am very much interested in seeing how a freshman point guard in Kingston Flemings, and he may shred it. He may shred it, and I may end up, again, I'm not saying he's going to panic, but he's not used to seeing any full court pressure. And Bucky's not going to back off. Bucky's not going to back off on that. And A&M's just got so much weird depth. The AG is their big. They've got another big that can shoot threes. They've got Rylan Griffin and Dominguez. Is it Ruben Dominguez? The Spanish sniper. Okay, so they can both hit threes. They got other guards who are just more like just guys that get, distribute, don't need to shoot the ball. A&M's just got a very, I'll put it this way. In their own weird way, A&M is deeper than Houston. And I think they play every bit as good a defense as Houston does. And again, Houston may end up running them off the court. Maybe that'll happen. But I wouldn't bet on that. I would not bet on that. I think we've got ourselves I think we've got ourselves a barn burner in that 10 versus 2 that we're going to see we'll see tomorrow. All right. Well, wait. I don't know. I just want to get all my stuff straight. Okay. Yeah. We'll see tomorrow. And then Sundays will be today's games. All right. Baylor is just not scoring. I mean, this is what they've done all season, and it's very, very frustrating. They get a 19-8 lead, playing great ball, dominate the first quarter. Here come the Bears. 6 versus 11. This is us. This is what we do. We hit threes. We're good. We're a good team. Since that time, they were up 19-8. Kevin told us that late in the first quarter. Baylor has scored 5 points since then. In 6-7 minutes of game time, they've scored 5 points. Now, they finally just hit a couple of free throws, but they're only up 25-21 with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the first quarter. Now, Kevin, let's talk a little bit about that Kentucky game. Kentucky beats Santa Clara in OT. And Baylor's not playing defense. I mean, this stinks. They got 6 points in the second quarter after having 19 in the first quarter. Again, maybe they'll get it going or something, but right now they're back to some of their old tricks. Just out shooting threes and missing a bunch of threes. All right. Otegwa, how do we say his first name? His last name is Owe. It's like Otega Owe. Good player for Kentucky, probably their best player, probably their best all-around player. They got other guys that do other things. They've got an interesting team. They're not a great team. All right. They're about like A&M was in conference. They probably finished 11-7, or maybe they finished 12-6. Okay, that's what Kentucky finished in SEC play. Today, Santa Clara outplayed them for a lot of that game. And Santa Clara, and it was some really fun back and forth at the end of the game, some interesting shot making. Kevin, you remember that moment when I told you in regulation, and I think it turned out to be a big moment in that game. Santa Clara, with about 24 seconds left, had a point-blank layup, right there. And they couldn't make it. And Kentucky, in a loose ball, got the ball, called for timeout. And, I mean, again, Baylor's in a complete meltdown. Baylor women are down 28-25 with 50 seconds to go, turning the ball over, live ball turnovers, just a complete mess. And Kevin, you may be watching it too. It just, they finally scored there, but they're going to end up with about 8 points for the entire second quarter after scoring 19 in the first. And this is unfortunately what this thing has been in recent weeks for this Baylor team. So they are right now trailing 28-27. They will be trailing at halftime. Probably Nebraska's going to have to shoot. Kevin's ahead of me, so he sees all this. Bears are going to get one last shot off, and they will trail at halftime 28-27 over 11 seed Nebraska. Kevin, let me just put it this way. Okay, not making the tournament at all, that's bad. Okay, what the Baylor men did is worse. All right, let's just to put this thing in perspective. That's the worst. Okay, in order of things we're dealing with. Losing in the first round of the NCAA tournament to Nebraska as a 6 seed. Baylor's been a good team this year for much of the year. They've had some bad moments, but they've had a lot of good moments. Kevin, I have that, and I know there's a bunch of Baylor people sometimes they're like, Matt, you're being too tough. You're being mean to our Bears or whatever. I got that down as a disaster, Kevin. And I told you the Baylor men's basketball season was a disaster. And somebody pushed back. I wouldn't call it a disaster. What do you call it? Like, this is an incredible program. They had 3 straight years of being number 1 seeds. They won a national title. They didn't even sniff the tournament this year. That's a disaster of a season. I think Scott Drew, when I have him on next week, he's going to say, I agree, if I choose to bring that up with him. I think the women losing in the first round in Nebraska, Kev, would be just an outright disaster. Now, you got a whole second half. You're down 28-27. You're fine. Guess who was losing yesterday as a 1 seed in the men's tournament? The Duke Blue Devils were down by, weren't they down by like 9 or 10? It may have been 11. They were trailing at halftime, and it was an embarrassment to all of basketball, all of humanity. The Duke Blue Devils were trailing the Burnt Siennas. And let's give these people their credit. Because I like they've got a St. Bernard that I really like. That's their mascot. And they've got they're called the Saints, the Sienna Saints. But they also have a dog. It's a good dog, a really good looking St. Bernard. And I think he lives with the president. He's a good doggy, real good dog. Lots of dogs in this thing. You got you got some Bulldogs. You got some. You got the Georgia Bulldogs, and they got run off the court last night. Kev, remind me, who was playing Georgia yesterday? It was like somebody that was pretty. It was somebody that Georgia, team out of the SEC. I think it was more like kind of like an 8-9 type game. I'm trying to remember who the Georgia Bulldogs lined up to play.
St. Louis.
Okay.
That
would be
last year's Iowa State Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Avila. Yep.
Now, I thought he'd been with St. Louis for 2 years now. Was that not 2 years ago at Indiana State, or was it last year?
I think it was last year.
Okay. They gave him, I heard a cool story on him. They came to him this year. We'll double check that for you, because this story makes more sense if this was his second year at New Orleans, but whatever. They basically, I think, to try to get a better roster, I think they said, here's the number. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar or Milk Chamberlain or Larry Nerd or whatever, all the fun nicknames for Avila. But they basically said, this is all we can offer you. Kind of like, really sorry, but hey, man, we got to try to build a roster around you. And the guy is like, fine, sounds good to me. Like, I love stories like that in this day and age where everybody's chasing the money. Okay, now I got to go here. Now I'm going to go here. I like the Bruce Thornton kid, Ohio State, that stayed all 4 years.
You're right. 2 years ago. Yep.
So, yes, the New Orleans or St. Louis, the Billikens. Now, Kev, are you aware of what a Billiken is? Kevin, time moves fast when we're having fun. Wow.
We had debate about this in our household. Liam is home from spring break. He said, "What's a Billiken?" I said, "I don't know, but by the look of the logo, I'd say it was looked like an evil guy who was winking."
Well, he's supposed to be a friendly-looking chap. I'm trying to think if I've seen the mascot, like actually walking around. You could probably find it, Kev. But the Billiken was in a poem in like 1907, I think. So the Billiken, I'm trying to think. I think I read this. And you rub the belly of the Billiken for good luck. And so the Billiken was like a good luck charm. But it's kind of supposed to be a friendly little mascot-looking person. But I really do like the Billikens. I like Avila, but I like the rest of that team. And they ran at one point. Kevin, I looked up last night. I said, "Well, I'll go check on this game. What's going on? What's going on over here?" Kevin's score was, I saw a guy hit a shot to get the Billikens to 100. Kevin, would you like to guess what Georgia was at that point? The Billikens, it got them to 100. What did it get? What do you think Georgia had at that point? Kevin, would you like to guess when they got it to 100?
83.
Georgia was at 60. They had a 40-point lead over the Bulldogs. All right. And we've got good friends who are Georgia Bulldogs, and they like to do that thing. They'll kind of bark at you a little bit, and they do a lot of things. And in football, they're a very intimidating lot. All right. The Bears have had to play them in football, ran into them in the Sugar Bowl. You don't want to have to go into New Orleans against the Bulldogs. It's not a good place to play them in football. But in basketball, oh my gosh. In other action, Kevin, right now. Oh, there you go. There you go. Now, Kevin, so is it your contention that this Billiken is scary to children? Do you think that the sight of that would scare children? Because I think the Billiken is built
absolutely
to be kind of a friendly thing.
No, that thing is white and not just it's sort of just it is undefinable, undefinable.
You're not talking about its race. You're saying
but
the way it's ghostly kind of
ghostly white. Yes, it sort of appears to be a face in a odd shape, undefinable. And so for kids, they would have no point of reference for that. And so, yeah, it would be scary. I mean, my daughter is scared of the bear mascot when she goes to Baylor's games. So, but she's 4. So,
Seth, I maybe Marigold, the female bear, is a little less intimidating than Bruiser. Maybe your daughter. I'll tell you, my daughter at that age, Kevin. I worked for Disney. I was with ESPN.com for a lot of years, and so we had a bunch of free passes, and then we get to stay on property for 50% off, and it was nice. And when your kids are little, that's fun to go to Disney World all the time and stuff. But boy, she loved those characters. They go through that stage, and then she would get her little autograph thing and get the characters. And what's great about Disney is that the truth is she's 18, and if I said, "Well, you want to go to, Italy? You want to go to Milan? You want to go to Germany? You want to go to the beach? Or do you want to go to Disney World?" Still, she would choose Disney World.
Well,
because it's just awesome.
Disney World also has Italy and Germany.
No, do not try to tell me the Epcot is anything similar. I'm not buying that. I have done all that stuff.
Well, all the people who actually work in those areas are from that country, though, so it was beneficial. Yeah, but when we went on a Make-A-Wish trip to Disney just before December, or just before in early December before Christmas, and there's only one place in the world that I can have really authentic guacamole while walking around China. That's Epcot. It was great.
That's weird. I mean, because I have been to Mexico there where they might serve that. And I like that dining area because it's that dark, really cool area. But I don't know why in China you would have had guacamole.
Because it's just a quick walk over. Yeah, I get the guacamole at the stand and then walk over to China, and there we go.
Okay, I got you. Golly, man, Capital One, how many of these things do they have? This is unbelievable with the new ones with Barkley and Jennifer Garner and Samuel Jackson. Is Spike? I guess Spike's in them too. Some of them are kind of moderately funny. And then I always like the guy from Parks and Rec and Anything. I think he's doing Carnival Cruise Line commercials. I always laugh at people. I mean, again, nothing against Carnival Cruise Lines. I think years ago when I was a kid, we went on the USS Mardi Gras. I think that was a Carnival Cruise Line. But I like these actors that would never in a million years be on one of these cruises. And I'm not talking about just Carnival. I'm talking about any cruise line. And yet, there they are running around the cruise. It's the same thing for some of these cars. You're like, okay, you're not driving that, but that's fine. That's fine. These people pay these actors enormous money to make people believe that they drive those things. All right, Kev, some of the events, why don't we call this Campus Confidential? Why don't we call this portion Campus Confidential, and we'll keep you up to date. Baylor game at halftime now. I'm watching Wright State and UVA. It's a tight ball game. UVA, I believe, has a 2-point lead. When a game goes to commercial, this really drives me nuts. That I'm watching, they take the score down. Well, that doesn't make any sense. Leave the score up for me. Arizona blew LIU off the court. That game's still in progress, but it's not really a game. Tennessee State and Iowa State just getting going. That's 15 versus 2. I don't think the Cyclones will run into any kind of problems there. And Kev wants a okay, Kev. Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll take a break, and then we'll do some Campus Confidential. And what we'll do is react to several of the games from yesterday. And I'll tell you of UT, A&M, and who else did I see yesterday that I'll just tell you some of our local teams who I think has the best chance of advancing. And I mean, I like to make fun of Texas, but they got it done. They got it done. If we want to just sit around and constantly praise the Big 12 about how awesome we are, you got to beat the number 11 seed. Okay, Rob Wright. I mean, DeBonsa basically has had to be a one-man team since Richie Saunders went out about a month ago. It's been all DeBonsa. And I think our man Rob Wright got exposed a little bit. I have to say. And Rob probably now, his dad will be out there. Anybody got more money? Anybody? I don't know. I got $3 million this year. Anybody else got something? Okay. Kev, let's take a quick break. Take care of our folks. Thank you, C&B. Wow. The topic, one of our top executives at C&B, Brian Fonville, who watches this show every day, is in Portugal. And knowing him, I'm sure it's some kind of religious ties to this trip. But man, he really does some cool stuff. And so a Wright State, by the way, up 45-43 over Virginia. Nobody loves losing early in the tournament like the Hoos, like the Cavaliers, the UVA. I always forget why they're known as the Hoos, but I kind of like that, HOOS. But I don't really remember why they became known as the Hoos. But I do think that's kind of fun.
Somebody else likes losing early in the tournament. That's Greg Gard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But, hey, Kev, come back to me for a second. Come back to me. You still want to take a break here, right, before we talk about all that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Take a quick break, and then we'll be back, and we'll keep reacting to all this NCAA tournament March Madness.
Ready for a better kind of primary care?
At Patient First Direct Primary Care, you get unlimited office visits with same-day or next-day availability.
And instead of rushed appointments, we take the time to actually listen.
There are no insurance hassles, just clear, simple care.
You can reach us by phone or text because access shouldn't be complicated. Our practice has expanded to include Medicare-age patients as part of our direct primary care model.
It's a fresh alternative to the traditional insurance or government-driven systems, care that finally puts you first.
For more information, go to patientfirstdirect.com.
Enjoy a quiet atmosphere with beautiful river views at the Brazos Landing, located in Waco along the Brazos River across from McLean Stadium. Enjoy homemade dishes like shrimp and grits, chicken piccata, braised short ribs, prime New York steaks, and more. Plus, enjoy a delicious dessert like creme brulee or key lime pie. Open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Brazos Landing in Waco, the only place where I-35 and the Brazos River meet.
Experience the future of secure private cloud storage with Internix. Protect your files with end-to-end encryption, ensuring your data stays private and accessible only to you. That's internxt.com today.
Welcome to Market XLS, your all-in-one Excel solution for investors. Designed as an enterprise-grade platform, Market XLS caters to investment managers, secure and efficient investment management and research. Book your free demo.
Experience with the Mosley MD hair regrowth kit was amazing. It was easy to use. It let me take off my hat. I could go in public and have my picture taken and feel normal again.
MosleyMD.com.
At 4U Health, we believe wellness and lab testing should be accessible, inclusive, and yes, fun. With our tech-powered at-home lab test, you save time and money while feeling your best. 4U Health. Visit 4uhealth.com today.
BadCreditLoans.com is a pioneering service provider that has carved a reputation in the financial industry. Simple, fast, and reliable loan application process. And its commitment to responsible borrowing makes it a trusted partner in the journey towards financial stability.
Unlock a world of convenience with Mullybox, your one-stop solution for personalized subscription boxes delivered right to your door. Each box is tailored to your taste. Mullybox.com. That's MULLYBOX.com. With a focus on performance, design, and customer service, we're here to help you work smarter, not harder. Join us on our journey to simplify your world. Visit acasis.com today. That's ACASIS.com today. Experience the perfect blend of exquisite craftsmanship and life-changing technology with Gevi. Every product is built with precision, featuring specialized parts that ensure durability, efficiency, and safety. Upgrade your everyday with Gevi. Visit us at gevi.com to discover more.
All right, Kev, I'm really enjoying too this March Madness. I always forget how much I like the app, the March Madness Bracket app, because I can get the multi-view, I can get the fast break channel, and then I can kind of do several things at once. And then there's some stat things from a three-point perspective and other stats. I wish they would do a little bit higher analytics. By the way, Baylor, Scott Drew was very early to the game to a lot of the NBA analytics that he used for the metrics for Baylor. And I think that helped, especially leading into that national title. But he was doing that even, even 13 years ago. I just remembered as I was thinking about my timing, and then I thought I was trying to think how old I am, Kevin, and then I thought, this tells you how crazy my brain is. I just realized that I missed one of my buddy's recent birthdays, like one of my best friends from college, who was a professor at Baylor. Anyway, all these things just went through my head. Kevin will bring us up to date on a couple things. Kevin, let's do what we would call here some Campus Confidential. And I'll lead us off here. And then, Kevin, if you have a few you want to bounce off of me. But one of the big upsets yesterday was, and Kevin did a good job of sort of gathering this, and we were monitoring VCU, led by Martelli's son. It's Martelli Jr., Phil Martelli Jr. That's a fun family. It's a great story, and he's done a really nice job there at VCU. They've had good coaches, they've had good programs for years. In VCU, don't forget, I mean, they once upon a time even made a Final Four. I think that was when Anthony Grant was coaching there. They at least made an Elite Eight. They may have made a Final Four. So they are no stranger to success in the tournament. But it's been a little while, it feels like, and they were trailing by 19. One point, Kevin, I looked, and it was 70-54, I think, and UNC was on top, and I kind of gave up on that game. Maybe in 70-56, whatever. I was just like, not much happening there. The UNC had Vaser, the big man. He used to be at Arizona. He's really good. They obviously are playing without their best player, UNC, but they're still got talent. They still got plenty of talent, and so they were winning big. In fact, they were up by 19 at one point. VCU comes back, and they find a way and win the game. Kevin, and VCU, I mean, they're pretty good. I mean, but also it was as big a choke job as you will ever see. And the Tar Heels just came undone. And they tried to hang in there and all that. Kevin, I thought the performance post-game, though, needs to be discussed, maybe more than even what happened in the game. I was watching some of it today. Hubert looks like he's somewhere else. Like if I was the AD or a fan of UNC and they've got, when it comes to men's college basketball, there's Kentucky, UNC, Duke, and used to be Kevin's beloved college, Indiana, but I can't really put them there anymore. But there's about a handful of just flat out blue bloods. And I would say all three of those I just mentioned, Kentucky, Duke, and UNC, these are the monster blue bloods of college basketball. You can put Arizona, you can certainly put Arizona over there over the years, but the ones I mentioned are the monsters. You don't want your head coach at UNC sounding like that guy. Why did you, Coach, why did you go with that tight six-man rotation? And did you feel like the guys maybe wore down or there was some fatigue at the end? Because that's the decision I made, was just it. And he looked, and sometimes coaches like the coach at UCLA just is going to, he just has a tendency, Mick Cronin has a tendency to be cocky, arrogant, all the things Mick Cronin is. Hubert used to be in the media. Hubert's not a particularly arrogant guy. In fact, Hubert Davis used to play for the Mavericks. I know Hubert to be a very nice man. Hubert looked lost. Kind of like, what just happened? Guys, I'm sorry. I don't know. He had zero answers. And I know you can be kind of stunned after a loss, but if you're UNC, and I know they lost Caleb Wilson, and that was tough. You got to be thinking about a change. And John Shire almost got his rear beat yesterday by Siena, but he didn't. They did not lose, and they will advance. And Shire was playing, last year in the Final Four. And you say, well, Matt, wasn't Hubert in the Final Four a couple of years ago? Yes. Now, Coach K went there in his final season for Duke. Shire has been back. What I'm trying to remember is if Hubert made it, before Coach K left. I think he made it once. But they did not. They should not have been in the tournament last year. And you go, well, Matt, how are you this tough on Hubert Davis and you're not so tough on Scott Drew? Well, Hubert Davis took over a monster program with about 100 years of pedigree or 60, 70 years of pedigree. Dean Smith and what's his name, Frank McGuire, or whoever was doing it before him. MJ, the whole James Worthy, Perkins, all the famous stuff that comes out of UNC. Scott took over a program. Player had just been murdered. Everything had flatlined. Bliss was a disaster and got caught, trying to pin some drugs and everything and a scandal on a dead kid. Which sounds kind of flippant of me to say it like that, but it's what happened. It's what happened, and it was awful. Scott took it over, brought Baylor back from just the brink of disaster, and built a great basketball program. So Scott, that's the context we have for Scott. Hubert, was handed the silver spoon because he was a UNC guy. He was a former player, played for Dean Smith, and he was part of the deal. And so if you're thinking about, did he play for Dean? He did, I think. I know, because Stackhouse and some of that group that came after, and like Vince Carter, some of those people, it went from Dean to Coach Bill Gullidge, was there for a season or two, and then it went to Roy, is how that thing went. So Ray Felton and all those great players did play for Roy. There were a couple of them, like Jerry Stackhouse and some of those guys, that got caught in that crossover where Gullidge, the longtime assistant to Dean, took over. All right. So, yeah, I don't know, Kev. I think Hubert a little bit yesterday was asking to be fired. He something's not right there. Now, Kevin, I'll let you bounce a couple of things off of me. I know you love the High Point win, and then, as I mentioned, A&M just embarrassed St. Mary's. That was not a good look for the WCC. Is that? I was trying to think if that was old Agee's a big dude for A&M, and he does it all. He was hitting threes, he rebounds, he'll play down low. I love Rashawn Agee. He's a good player. But, Kevin, which of these games grabs your attention? Obviously, the High Point, and then I wanted to bounce a couple of things against a Big Ten thing against you. Greg Gard has been a pretty good coach at Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they go to the tournament pretty much every year, and they're usually like at least a 4 or 5 seed, 6 seed. They're pretty consistent in the Big Ten. But again, we know it's all about the tourney. Purdue, a few years ago, was ready to get rid of Painter. They were sick of just not being able to get it done in the tourney. Now, he finally made it to a Final Four here in recent years. Was that with Edey? I do think he made it to a Final Four within the past, 2 or 3 years.
Yep, that's true.
Okay. I looked up this thing about Greg Gard, though, at Wisconsin, because they're always good. They're always fine, Wisconsin Badgers. Now, he took over for Was it Dick Bennett? Who was the guy who took who did Greg Gard take over for at Wisconsin? Was I right? Was it Dick? They were good under that old guy that
Bo Ryan.
Jackson's son played for Bo Ryan.
Yeah.
Dick Bennett's another guy that's okay. I'm sorry to mix people up. Dick Bennett did coach, but yeah, Bo Ryan was the old dude that was there and did get them to the Final Four. May have gotten them to a national title game, but certainly got them to a Final Four because I was there when UConn beat them. That was UConn. Kentucky was in that Final Four with Cal. That was in Dallas, and Wisconsin was in that Final Four. Okay. Kev, they hadn't sniffed a Final Four under Greg Gard. In fact, Kevin, have they been to the Sweet 16? I think they might have made the Sweet 16.
They have not.
Once.
They have not been to the Sweet 16 since 2017, and I have some connection for you if you don't get there. But we'll see.
Wait, was Gard there? Was Gard there yet or not? At 2017.
Yes, yeah, he was.
That was Gard. Okay.
Yep.
But then what was unbelievable to me, Kevin, was just that not only have they missed the tournament a time or two, but like first round loss, get second round loss. It's just that's a rough. Scott won a national title in 21. Now they have not been to the Sweet 16 since then. That's a bummer. It's not great. Like, is Gonzaga more consistent than Baylor in the NCAA tournament? Absolutely. They went 9 straight Sweet 16s or whatever crazy amount it was. Nobody does that. Nobody. Well, Gonzaga did under Mark Few. Greg Gard gets there, but man, they're stepping out early pretty much every year. So I think we have another case, Kevin, of a little bit of a Painter thing going on. Now, at least with Painter, even though I know the fans were getting sick of him, he was making it to some Sweet 16s and even in Elite 8. I think there was an Elite 8 year before they finally, separate of their Final Four run a couple of years ago. I think they did. I think he may have had one Elite 8. But I think Gard is starting to venture into Painter territory as a guy who just doesn't really get it done. Kev, what do you think of that? Agree with that?
I would agree, and I did some research, so I have a little scenario for you. See if you like this. This year, of course, they lost to High Point as the 5 seed, 12 seed. In 2025, they were an early exit as well, losing in the second round to number 6 seed BYU as the 3 seed, Wisconsin was. In 24, again, they were a 5 seed, and they lost to James Madison, the 12 seed. So 2 years ago, they repeated this same scenario. And in 2022, they got past Colgate, but then they lost to 11 seed Iowa State. So that makes 3 out of the past 4 years that they have lost to a double-digit seed, at least in the second round. Do you know their loss in 2021 that started this run?
What was that? Who was that?
It was
Who did they lose
against your Baylor Bears, as the Bears went all the way that year. So the Bears
21, they
started them on this disastrous run. So your Bears are kind of a Greg Gard killer, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah,
he started that run.
I would have been at that game, so you would thought. By the way, Kev, and I like that, Kev. That was good. That was good research. And if you have any more you want to bounce off of me, feel free. I'll tell you what I'd like you to do, Kevin. You update us on the men's. I'm going to kind of get us updated on Baylor women right now are trailing Nebraska 40-37. I mean, you can't you can't blame any of the shooting on, like, Nebraska has a decent little crowd there, but it's not, it's Cameron Indoor Stadium's an awesome venue, but there's not a lot of fans there. Whatever. Again, maybe Baylor will pull this off. And I hate to keep talking about, but Kevin, I would say that that's a very disturbing trend for the Baylor women's program if they lose this game here in the first round. It would be, I would put it down as a incredibly disturbing trend. This is now 2023 season. I think they made it to the Sweet 16. I thought that was really good for Nikki. And then they actually played well against UConn in the Sweet 16 game. But I will just tell you that Baylor now is about to trail by 5 as they get late into the third quarter. And this is a Nebraska team, Kevin, Nebraska women's team. Yes, they started 12-0. Kevin, in Big Ten play, they went 7-11. This is not a good Big Ten team. It kills me that Baylor, that Fauntleroy has never gotten better. She had a horrible shooting year. Bugs, honestly, did not finish out with a electric senior year at all. Especially did not improve on her offense. They had to bring in a mercenary who's their leading scorer. So again, I hope they rally and this becomes a different story. But right now they trail 43-38, and they just keep missing free throws. It's a very, very frustrating situation with Baylor
Nikki
women's
Collin
basketball.
was on about a month ago on our show talking about the phrase 5 wins to a championship in the Big 12, right? And since then they've won maybe 2, I think, games. Is that correct?
Did not win in the Big 12 tournament, then lost to TCU.
They lost twice to
West
TCU.
Virginia. So they may have only had 1 win since
I think
then.
Iowa State was their only win, maybe.
Yeah,
if my memory serves.
They beat somebody like a BYU type team, but it's bad. And Fauntleroy, who completely lost all her confidence, can't shoot, went from being a really competent, excellent player. We thought she would have a WNBA type future. She can't make free throws. She's missed 2 free throws and just had a brutal season. It's extremely unfortunate. And right now they're really asking, they've put Ting, we call her, they've put her in the game just to try to give them something. And she's struggling too and turning the ball over. It's bad. It's a bad scene. I hate to be negative, Kevin. I mean, this has been a fun tournament type show. Kev, what else bring us up to date on what's happening in the men's tournament right now?
Arizona just absolutely rolling over LIU. Iowa State got off to a huge start against Tennessee State. They're up 26-7 at the under 12. It's just under 11 minutes to go in the first half. And just under 10 minutes to go in the game, Wright State has now dropped back behind Virginia because the best team usually you will see prevail after 10 minutes left in the game.
Okay,
so
this is some kind of thing you've been throwing out to me. This is like a Kevin Hall. You've been workshopping this with your family at home. Like, Matt, to 10 minutes left.
This is what
okay.
I always have brought up to Liam. If you see a college team, keep it close, meaning about 10 points. Eliminate the 10. About a 10-point deficit with 10 minutes to go, a quarter of the game. Usually the better prepared team will prevail. So even if you're down as long as you keep it fairly close, last 10 minutes of the game, those stronger teams will usually rise to the top. Whoever that is. It could be the underdog. It may not be, but usually in that last 10 minutes,
I'm going to take that.
that.
We're off air. I'm going to work with you on that. I think I'm not sure I buy into this. This is all of this. I wanted to break away just for a second. And by the way, TCU women, Olivia Miles had a triple-double today, and so they're off to a big start. What I was wanting to see, Kevin, is if we wanted to get into any real quick NFL nuggets kind of thing. Obviously, we've and I like some of these grades that are coming out. 10 great signings, 6 great trades, the best of free agency. I like some of that. The NFL is set to, and we had that Dalton news yesterday.
Other Eagles news.
Oh, tell
yesterday,
me what we got on Eagles, yeah.
Damian Pierce became an Eagle, was signed to a
That's right.
Deal from after being, his rookie contract, I think, was up with Houston. So signed as a free agent to the Eagles.
All right. I thought you would find this interesting, Kevin. Speaking for the first time since what happened in free agency, Mike Evans signed with the Niners. Mike and the Buccaneers GM Jason Licht, you'll know him. Licht said Wednesday that he does not feel betrayed by the departure. He said, "I don't feel betrayed. I'm in mourning. Mike gave us everything he had for his 12 seasons here and established himself as one of the best players in the league. So to say it again, one of our best players we've ever had, I don't feel betrayed. He earned the right. I said that over and over. He earned the right to make this decision. And sometimes you've got to talk it over with your family. And just sometimes you're just ready for another chapter." All right. When he signed his new deal in 2024, he said, "I look forward to being a Buccaneer for life." Kevin, things change. Things change. All right. So I don't think that's the end of the world. And Mike, he'll still have his jersey retired someday, and they'll always have that Super Bowl. Yeah, what'd you hear?
I heard that the Bucs even offered him more money than the Niners.
Maybe.
It wouldn't surprise me. Went there.
Yeah. Wouldn't really surprise me too much. NFL to vote. The Raiders are always doing something dumb. They're scheduled to vote on the Raiders' succession plan that gives Silver Lake co-chief executive officer Egon Durbin the option to purchase a majority stake in the team from longtime owner Mark Davis, according to multiple ownership and team executives with direct knowledge. He says he has no intention of selling his majority stake. The vote would mean that if and when Davis or his heirs did decide to sell, Durbin, a limited partner, would have the option to buy the club. We don't think he has any heirs, do we? Owners will vote. I'm not saying maybe he couldn't someday, but he's kind of getting on up there. He declined to comment Thursday afternoon, but a source close to Davis told ESPN Mark has no intention to sell his majority stake in the team. This sets up a smooth succession plan. That's interesting. Mark Davis, who turned 71 in May, inherited the team when his father died in 2011. Boy, it sure does seem like the ownership's all forcing this to happen. And it's always been a little weird where the Davis family money even comes from. it seems to come more from the valuation of the Raiders and the team more than they actually have a lot of money. I mean, Al Davis, as you'll recall, came up a different sort of way than most owners, even different than Jerry Jones. Al Davis was a coach in the NFL. And if you look into it, it's a very fascinating way, the way he came up. The thing you would know is that Al Davis never went out like most of these people and made millions upon billions of dollars. It just didn't happen. So when the Raiders go out on these spending sprees and spend enormous money, you're like, well, wait, what's that? Well, see, that's from a pot of money that sort of comes. I mean, it's a very, very interesting story. One that we don't have time to get too far into today. But what it sounds like to me is this. The NFL does not trust Mark Davis. The NFL knows the Davis family doesn't, like most families in the NFL, doesn't have this endless amount of money, and all their money's tied up into the worth of that stadium and the worth of the actual franchise. And so what they did is they found this guy Durbin, who's worth about $2.5 billion. You do not want to have a team. This is like old school. Mark Davis and the amount of money the Davis family has is akin to what families had 50 years ago in the NFL. Well, it started flipping with Jerry and then Kroenke, and then, obviously the Irsays have passed it down, but the Irsays did have money. It's just a whole different kind of business. And what the NFL can't have is an old school Al Davis-like family that's just like where the NFL has to come in and basically prop the family up. The NFL always likes having billionaires involved. So it's the same thing as, the guy, Schultz, the family that owns the Seahawks, who's that? Howard Schultz or whoever all that family is. No. That's the Microsoft people. I'm thinking I got him mixed up with the Starbucks guy for a second. That family, Jody, what's her name, was told by her brother who died, I don't want this thing in the family. And that's why the Seahawks win a Super Bowl and are trying to sell, because that was the wishes of the old guy who used to be with Bill Gates. They're the owner of the Seattle Seahawks. All right, Kev, did you have one last thing you wanted to bounce off of me, college basketball or otherwise, or are you good? Paging Kevin Hall. Kevin Hoosier Hall. Kevin, do you have anything else for us?
I mean,
I got one thing, buddy, that we didn't.
I thought that this was fun. Sure, saw this last night about the discussion over whether it should be Miami or Miami of Ohio, and we talked about yesterday all the Miami people of Ohio. People hate that they're Miami, Ohio, but the university is older than the actual city of Miami, Florida. So maybe we do need to call them that.
What was the state of Florida? When did it come along? When did it come
I'm
in?
not sure.
Because they were discovering it, that area of the world.
Right.
It's like Florida has aren't they billed as like there's one city in Florida that's considered the oldest city in America.
St. Augustine, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yet the city of Miami is a relatively young city. Well, that's also much younger than Baylor. Because, of course, Baylor.
1845 was Baylor, and 1845 was the state of Florida founded. There you go. Same year.
Wait, Texas didn't even... Was 1848? Texas didn't come into being until... Okay.
There are some universities that existed before the actual state that they are in. History.
So it was still it was the Republic of Texas.
Yep.
Now listen to this. It said in 1856, Baylor University, then located in Independence, was growing, with graduates increasing to 6 men and 2 women by that year. President Burleson constructed the Octagon building on campus in 1856, and the institution was establishing itself as if not the premier higher education institution in Texas. Take that. Take that, Aggies. Take that, UT. Take that, obviously, TCU. Take that, everybody. All right. When did Baylor come to Waco, though? A prominent Texas figure and namesake of the university was active in the 1850s, serving as a U.S. Indian agent in 1856. That's John R. Baylor. Let's not get too much into his history. Kev, what was the other? Oh, did Josh Jefferson get hurt? Did you see this? This is not good. This 30 minutes ago, Josh Jefferson from Iowa State being helped off the floor. Iowa State's most valuable player can't put any weight on his left ankle. Now they're winning big, as Kevin said. I haven't heard a report. Saying he's back. Otega Owe, yeah, that was right about that. The shot of the day was Otega Owe hit about a 38-footer off the glass to send that game into OT against Santa Clara. And sadly, Kentucky goes on to win in OT. And the poor Santa Clara Broncos were sent packing after playing a great, great game. Kevin, assists were not official stat until 1984, but here are the only people ever documented with at least 35 points. Now, Kevin, listen to this one. You'll like this. Why is my camera doing that? Anybody out there? Is anybody listening to us? With at least 35 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists in an NCAA tournament game per CBS Sports Research. This is the list, Kevin. These are the only people that ever did what Otega Owe, who hit that huge shot for Kentucky, did today. I just gave you his stats, right? 35 points, 8 rebounds, there he is, and 7 assists. That's Oscar Robertson in 1959, Bill Bradley in 65. I was going to be really impressed if you had like the Big O picture all of a sudden. 1979, Larry Bird, the great Larry Bird. He started out, Kevin, at your school, but he ended up at Indiana State. He went home, didn't like what was going on there with Bob Knight, the Indiana campus, and he only went on to become one of the greatest college players in the history of basketball. In 2026, Otega Owe. That's it. That's the list of players who had at least 35 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists in an NCAA tournament game. I didn't see Magic's name on there. I didn't see MJ's name on there, right? Oscar Robertson, Bill Bradley, Larry Bird, Otega Owe. Kevin, you know who Bill Bradley played his NBA ball for, don't you? That would be the New York Knicks. And somebody we know, Kevin, somebody we know, like, is friends with Bill Bradley and like goes to games with him and stuff. Like somebody we know, but I just can't think. I can't think who it is. All right, Kev, good stuff. We got our little bit of NFL in. And then I'm going to get you the latest update on Josh Jefferson, because that is, golly, Kevin, we were going to do like kind of an abbreviated show today. That did not happen.
Did you want to hear my bracket?
Oh, yeah. This is the part of the show where, Kevin, yes, hold on one second. Josh Jefferson has been helped off the court, and no updates since then. Apparent ankle injury, nasty ankle sprain is what it looks like. Dang it. That is awful. He's their best player after a left ankle injury. He's getting x-rays per the broadcast. Would be a huge loss. Dang it. I hate that. I hate that so much. He's a great player, and it just happened in a real weird sort of way. Nobody really caused it. He just caused it. We can't even blame the LED. Can we blame the Big 12 court? Did it maybe kind of set him up for failure here? All right, Kevin. This is the part of the show, and this is the landing. All right, thank you, Brazos Landing. Thank you. Great being up there the other day. We had the beautiful set there. We had the Bourbon Street Bar in the background. It was beautiful.
And next month we'll be outside, it looks like, on the
We'll
patio.
see. We'll just have to see what the wind's doing. I promise you, if the wind's blowing hard that day, you do not want to have us outside. Kev.
Yes.
This is the part of the show where you tell us how your bracket's doing. How we doing?
Right.
How we
All right,
doing
so-
here on day 2?
Yes, we do a family bracket every year, and the size of my family, it's like a small office party. So, so at this point, I have only had one advancing round pick be knocked out. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
only one continued game, and that was only one round ahead. So unfortunately, one of my family members had their champion taken out. Of course, she picked Ivy League Penn to be.
What's your best upset pick so far? I mean, give us
best
that.
upset? Well, there's a reason I was excited about High Point, because I picked it. I was one of the 17% of brackets that picked High Point.
By the way, Hofstra. Good for you. By the way, Kev, that's good. Wright State's up 70-69 with under 5 minutes to go over Virginia. That's a 13, right? Is that 13?
That would be the largest upsets thus far.
Okay, and 3 versus 14, I should say. And then Hofstra, that's another. Hofstra's up 28-21. It's still very early. And then Iowa State's crushing the poor team they're playing. Arizona crushed the team. Kevin, can we tell people real quick what the Baylor score is? I'm having trouble relocating it here. How are the Bears?
It is 53-50, 5 minutes left, down 3.
53-50, 5 minutes to go in that one. All right, we'll go watch the end of that.
So the upset that I picked that did not hit, I had McNeese winning.
What's that guy's name? I like that guy.
I forget Khan. I think their team
Amir
manager
Khan
had
or something like that.
had the whole boombox and thing last year. So I thought they were going to do it again. They did not. And then my one advancing pick that got knocked out, I picked Akron today and had them going into the next round as well. So the only other losses that I have, I picked UNC. Obviously, VCU beat them. And then I had BYU. And I also picked Ohio State over TCU, which they tried to get that comeback, but that did not happen. But then that's the question. Does TCU have an advantage with Duke struggling against Siena, or is Duke going to lose from their mistake and come out and just trounce TCU? What do you think?
I think that was a bad thing that happened for TCU. I think that Duke getting tested like that, I think may wake them up. But I do think TCU's deep enough and has a lot of size, has a really talented front court. I was just not impressed at all by Duke. I think we got a glimpse that maybe of why earlier in the year Tech was able to come back and beat Duke. I mean, honestly, the guy that allowed them to finally come back, they were down by 7 or 5, should have been down by even more, was Boozer's brother. I honestly thought Caden Boozer really made some big plays in that game. So there you go. Kevin, good work today. We just did 2 hours while watching a tournament. And I don't know. I mean, we'll let history be the judge of that. But I think we did a pretty swell job. Good job by you, Kev. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bears, please win. Please come back and beat Nebraska. I'm begging you. Bears down 53-50. They're in Cameron Indoor Stadium. Let's go, Nikki. Let's go, Bears.
53-52 now.
Okay.
4 minutes.
All right. Should we just stay with it? All right. Everybody have a great one. We will see you Monday at 1 o'clock straight up. Good night.
Central National Bank. This is Nikki. How may I help you?
Yes. Can you please transfer me to the loan department?
You want to transfer?
Yes, please.
I'm sorry. You can't transfer right now.
What?
Have a good day. Yes. How may I help you?
Hi. I would like to transfer money from my C&B account to another bank.
Absolutely not. No. Have a great day.
Wait, hold.
I'm on your website and I'm trying to find the link for your payment portal.
The portal is currently unavailable. Have a great day.
We've received a few complaints.
Correct. We no longer allow any outgoing transfers, only incoming.
But the good news is, no money is leaving the bank. Like, none.
Good job. Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
As part of Central National Bank's partnership with Baylor Women's Basketball, we ask Coach Collin to take a shot at improving the efficiency of our drive-thru.
The lane is open! Drive the lane! Attack the lane! Go! 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 Go!
We have a few kinks to work out.
Is this what you had in mind when you invited her?
No. I think you should say something to her.
Me?
Let's make Craig do it.
Okay, yeah.
You're gonna take this canister and you're gonna shoot it up.
Be all right. Be all right. Just be confident. Hey, Coach. Can I have a word with you?
Craig, not right now! I'm with a customer.
Okay.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
It's the Restore Clarity Focus Patch, my little secret weapon for staying sharp, focused, and on task. Each box comes with simple instructions inside, so you always know exactly how to apply it. Each patch lasts for 3 days. I love that I can wear it all day.
Boy, it looked effortless.
Man, watch this.
Layups, floaters, threes. He was like an unsolvable equation.
I was born like this.
His resilience, his strength, his belief, adversity never stood a chance.
Know your power.